I honestly never thought a day would come where I'm making a video about sugar. Could I see myself talking about time travel? Why not? Aliens? Sure. Dinosaurs? Obviously. The super corrupt and broken world we live in? Unquestionably. But today we aren't talking about any of those things. Today, we're talking about a Mandela effect regarding sugar. I get plenty of comments questioning why the Mandela effect only changes small things here and there instead of massive things. I disagree with the premise, but I understand the sentiment. Most of the time, Mandela effects are just small changes. But there have been plenty of examples of massive changes as well. This next one regarding sugar affects almost every human alive today. So I'd call that a pretty massive change. Who here believes the idea that sugar makes you hyperactive? Or giving sugary candy to children will give them an energy rush? It's late at night, so you can't have any sugary foods or drinks, it'll keep you up. If you have too much sugar, you're not going to be able to focus, etc. I'm sure the vast majority of us grew up hearing this, believing this, and repeating this. But apparently, it now isn't the case and has never been the case. Sugar does not make you hyperactive. Sugar does not give you an energy rush. And lastly, sugar is not keeping you up at night. Is this just widespread misinformation? Unreliable wives' tales passed down over generations? Complete nonsense? Or is this a Mandela effect? For the people that swear sugar gives them an energy rush, this could be a hard sugar pill to swallow. Let's get into the details. In 1995, a meta-analysis was published that combed through the findings of 23 experiments across 16 scientific papers. The authors only included studies that had used a placebo and were blinded, which means that the children, the parents, and the teachers involved did not know who had received the sugar and who had been given the placebo. After analyzing all of the data, the authors concluded, this meta-analysis of the reported studies to date found that sugar does not affect the behavior or cognitive performance of children. These sugar studies included glucose, fructose, sucrose, glycogen, and cellulose. The result was the same for all of them. Sugar doesn't induce hyperactivity or a rush of energy. All of this is really fascinating, but the most interesting fact that I saw was regarding white bread. The speed we absorb sugar into our bodies is called the glycemic index. The higher a food scores on the glycemic index, the faster we absorb it and convert it into glucose, which is then used as energy. Table sugar has a glycemic index of 65. You'd think, okay, that's pretty high, 65 out of 100. White bread has a glycemic index of 100, the highest possible score, meaning a slice of white bread gives you energy faster than table sugar. Have you ever heard anyone talk about white bread energy before? Getting bread hyper or a bread high? No, because sugar doesn't cause hyperactivity or an energy rush. Here's another fun fact. Studies have shown that when children are given a sweetened beverage, the parents are more likely to consider them hyperactive and full of excess energy, even though the science now shows that that isn't true and apparently has never been true. I'm sure a ton of you are scratching your heads right now and saying, no way. I get it. That's a lot of weird new information to take in, but that's why I'd love to hear some parents out there sound off on all of this. Before I stop talking about sugar, I'd like to dispel another possible explanation. It's the idea that sugary snacks cause a brief spike in blood glucose, an effect called hyperglycemia, and that is the cause of the energy rush and hyperactivity. Unfortunately, the symptoms of hyperglycemia include thirst, frequent urination, fatigue, irritability, and nausea. They do not include hyperactivity or energy bursts. Also, I feel silly explaining this again, but some need to hear it. Try to remember that not every Mandela effect affects everyone. No single person in the world has ever been affected by all of them. Some will blow your mind, and some won't affect you in the slightest, and others will just make you feel unsure and weird. This is okay, we have all been through it. Just remember that Mandela effects are based on groups of people remembering things differently. So if you're feeling like the odd one out, just read a bunch of the other comments to get a better overall feel of the population. So what do you think? Is this a Mandela effect, or have you always known this? Thank you all so much for watching. I can't wait to read all your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Until next time, never stop searching.